Woo! Alright, we got our second video up right now. This one, right again, we're going to roll right on along the train, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to review the next video game in the Assassin's Creed series, which, no joke, is Assassin's Creed 2. This game is also for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, if I believe. Once again, don't really care that much. Main plot character is still Desmond Miles. But unlike in the first game, you're playing as a completely different assassin in this one, and you play him from the ground up. I mean, you even get to wiggle his hands as a baby and shit. It's really wicked. But this main character is called Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Or Ezio, if you really want to just simplify that shit. This game, unlike in the first one, which took place in the Holy Land, this one takes place in Renaissance Italy, with one of the, in my opinion, best assassins they've come up with yet. Ezio is very charismatic. He's a ladies' man. He has a great cocky attitude about him. Whenever you first see him, he's getting into a street fight with a rival family called the Pazzi. And Brock comes up, smacks him in the face, so he beats the living hell out of him. You know, he's a very rough and tumble, relatable character, in my opinion. It also follows Desmond Miles, yet again voiced by Nolan North, the god of voice acting, in my opinion. And he's still held captive in Abstergo Industries. It follows shortly after Desmond finds the blood on the walls, which is all I'm going to say about the end of Assassin's Creed 1. There are some spoilers in this one, however, so if you have not played Assassin's Creed 1, please just stop watching now, because I'm going to spoil some stuff for you. At the end of Assassin's Creed 1, you do end up seeing blood on the walls that the Subject 16, they call him, had left on the walls, painted in blood and cryptic messages and all sorts of crap that only somebody with eagle sense can see. It is very creepy to end the first game like that, because you just have Desmond going, what the fuck? So he takes off and tries to escape with Lucy, the chick that had been helping the old human centipede motherfucker in the first game, who turns out to just be an assassin undercover inside the Abstergo Industries. So she helps you escape, and you get off and hide in a trunk and get to the secret base and whatnot. And then she tells you all about it, about how the Templars are still fighting the assassins, and that they're losing that fight, and they want you to help. But of course, you're just some lowly bartender dude called Desmond Miles, so you can't really do much. But through the glory of technology, and because this is a video game, due to the power of the Animus, you can bleed your ancestors' memories and learn the abilities as they learn them. Thus enters Assassin's Creed 2. You're able to go into the Animus, which has now been recreated as the Animus 2.0 from this chick named Rebecca and this cocky British dude named Sean, which, by the way, is one of the funniest characters I've heard in a while. You go in there and you start as just this punk teenager, Ezio. I mean, you get laid in the first couple missions. It's pretty cool. But you go in and you learn how to be an assassin as Ezio does, and you gain his abilities as Desmond, which is really cool. This game, in terms of that, that story was pretty cool. Gameplay in this game is mountains better than Assassin's Creed 1. If you watch my Assassin's Creed 1 videos, you would note that I did state that the gameplay is very, very, very repetitive, because you only could interrogate and all that stuff, and it was just a very, very boring gameplay sequence, except for the assassinations. They mixed it up. Ubisoft did good. They fixed their mistakes, and they made it more mission-based. Like, you have a mission where you go here, you do this. You go here, you do that. You know, it's not so much linear and doing the same thing over and over and over again. Granted, in the end, you're still killing people, but you're going about it a different way each time. There's more involvement in the story. There's missions where you're just walking and talking with somebody and learning about stuff in the game, like who you're going to assassinate, where they'll be hiding. You know, you meet more characters. You learn of the Thieves Guild, the courtesans, which are basically hookers in the nice way of putting it. And you learn about the way that they can help you blend in with the crowd. You learn how to pickpocket, which has now been simplified to where you just hold the X button, walk into somebody, bams! completely pickpocket them. Of course, this is also a major pain in the ass when you're trying to walk quickly to keep up with somebody, but be stealthy about it, because if you accidentally bump into somebody, you pickpocket them, then all hell breaks loose and you fail the mission. So it's a very big pain in the ass. Of course, one thing I forgot to touch on in the very first game are the annoying beggars, which are again back in the second one. These guys are so agitating because they will walk around and they'll just beg you for money. Beg you for money. And you throw money on the ground. But then that gets soldiers' attention. So it's a big mess. But anyway, like I was saying, gameplay though is a lot better. They added 2 of the rest blades, which is amazing because there are so many times in the first one I wish I had 2, so I could stab 2 people at the same time. What a main thing, it's tons easier. And not to mention, it's totally wicked that you can now jump from a building and stab somebody from up above. You can hang on a ledge and grab them and stab them in the chest and pull them off a cliff, and you can, you have all these different ways. You can jump in a hay barrel and pull them into the hay barrel, stab them, and throw them into the pot. It's just, oh, it's such awesomeness. This game, in my opinion, is by far the best, if not a close second to the best, Assassin's Creed game that they've made. The storyline is great. I mean, what more could you ask for? You got great voice acting, you got a great character, you have a humongous tragedy that happens. Not going to spoil it for you if you haven't played it. But the huge tragedy happens, and you become an assassin, and you learn the skills of the trade, and you watch Ezio grow up from a baby to this full-fledged assassin. Then you even get to go and get Altair's armor, which, by the way, looks nothing like Altair's armor. But hey, if that's what they're going to call it, that's what they're going to call it. It still looks pretty badass, though. Not going to lie. In this game, you also get to build your own villa, your own town. You have control over a book, which basically you give money to this guy, and he'll build this city up for you called the Monteregione. And inside the city, you get to, buy stuff at a discounted price, and you get to invite locals up and all that stuff. You get to do all these things to revamp your fort and your villa. And that gets you money, which makes it so much easier to go around and get gear and everything like that. Downsides to the gameplay, I will say that the linearness of fighting is still there. It's still, you can take on an army of 10 to 20 guys, single timing, bam, bam. I mean, it's a matter of just straight up timing. There's no skill to the fighting in this game whatsoever. I think they made it that way on purpose so that you could sneak in, and even if you get caught, you still have trial and error thing. I do like the fact that they do have missions in the game where it says do not be detected, so that way it makes you actually have to try. You can't just run in like a bat out of hell and stab people and get away with it. You actually have to do your job right. All in all, though, this game, in an all-around rating, gameplay, I would up it quite a bit to like 4.5 stars out of 5, because granted, combat's still very, very linear. It's still the same exact thing over and over again. When you're running like you got like your arm stuck out and you got a corn cob shoved up your ass. It's really, really weird how you run, but it's a lot more open world. I mentioned in my last video that you have just parts of the city you can visit, and that is still true in the towns. But as you go along, you'll be able to visit, Florence to Venice to freaking Rome. You can't visit Rome, but you can go to Venice, and you can go to Florence, and you got Forlì, and you got Tuscany, and you got all these different places, and you can ride in between all of them, and there are missions and galore. I mean, you can be busy for days on this game trying to get everything done. You got so much crap to do. All around, though, in the gameplay, I would give it about a 4.5 out of 5. Storyline, once again, I'm gonna have to give this another 5 out of 5, just because the storyline is just so in depth in this one. You get to learn more about what Subject 16 was, and about Lucy's background, and you get to find out more and more about the Templar fight and how everything went down with the other assassins that you've knew, that you've known. Ha, bad grammar. Anyway, you get to learn so much more about the characters, and it gets so much more in depth to where you get to know Desmond Miles as a character, Ezio as a character. You get to actually just go crazy and learn everything there's to learn. I mean, you can even get out of the Animus at any time and just talk to people, find out what their backstory is, why they joined the Assassins, what they were doing before the Assassins. It's a very in-depth storyline, and I love it. Major double thumbs up for it. It is definitely a game to get. But as always, thanks for watching the video. If you like what you saw, subscribe, comment down below, clicky that like button, and give me your opinions on what you think of the game. If you don't like it, if you do like it, if I missed anything that you might think that I missed, I'll try and respond back if you have a comment. And if you don't like it, well then, hey, thanks for watching anyway. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video.